As a fan of Chrome, I really enjoyed this particular chapter, and it's not wrong to say that this is my personal favorite chapter in a really long time. Although I expected a lot more of information dump from Zeno, but still, this is really good stuff, so let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to WhyZ, my name is Soham and today we are going to talk about Dr. Stone Manga chapter 171. As always, if you are new here then please consider subscribing to the channel since I do weekly Dr. Stone reviews. Also, we are trying to hit 5000 subscribers by the end of 2020, so like and sub would be massively appreciated. Now this chapter was totally dedicated towards Senku's group and we don't get to see the side of Perseus and Stanley. And this chapter is entirely devoted to the interactions between Senku, Zeno and also Chrome as a whole. This trio is doing their science stuff and it was really fun to watch. There are some more shenanigans here and there which I'll talk about in this particular review. Now the chapter opens with Kohaku and Luna looking forward towards the coast of USA and the other members of the team are also present there. Kaseki brings out a globe and gives it to Senku so that Senku and Zeno can eventually start their experimentations. There are some fun bits here and there, especially with Gen and Ryusui. They don't want to disturb Zeno and Senku in the research work, although Chrome is very keen and he wants to see what is going on there with these science buddies. My man Chrome is a genius, he's an absolute freaking genius. I've talked about this previously and I'll say this once again, that had he been born in the modern era, he would have probably been more smarter than even Senku. But this was some really great stuff and he just wants to listen to the conversations of these guys, so he brings the food to them. He's the person who wants to go and give the food to them. And before proceeding to the science related stuff, I want to address one of my issue with this particular chapter, or this arc in general so far. I've talked about this previously in my other reviews as well, and I'll talk about it here once again because it was not addressed in this chapter as well. So, Senku and gang are planning to visit South America, to be precise Brazil. I'll talk about which is the location here in a bit, but they're basically planning to visit Brazil from USA. Keep that in mind. And currently they're traveling using a small boat or a small yacht. This is not the Perseus which has a lot of fuel capacity or something like that. So I'm still wondering, how are they even going to reach South America in the first place? Won't their fuel get over by that point? How will they eventually reach the coast? This particular thing has not been resolved in the story so far, and in my very honest opinion, I think a sea conflict is coming up very soon. Stanley and gang are most likely going to confront Senku's group and there is probably going to be a battle in the middle of the ocean. Maybe Zeno will tell them to stop or something like that will happen, but I think this is the current plot of the story so far, because they are definitely not going to be able to travel to Brazil or South America with such a limited fuel supply, or at least that's what I tend to believe. But then we move forward with the chapter and Zeno and Senku are having their discussion. Again, it's not a huge information dump by Zeno, but I guess this was pretty nice for the chapter in concern. We get a flashback of Byakuya and Senku is basically playing the old cassette of Byakuya and the other astronauts. Zeno is actually pretty impressed by all of this and he says that Byakuya might have been a joker or a light-hearted person, but when it comes to work, he is very similar to his son Senku. And obviously Senku is not melodramatic at this point, but still he knows how to respect his father. And this was some really nice stuff. And he says that his late father gave them a wonderful gift, that is measurement of the petrification device and where exactly it originated from. That is basically the South American continent. With that information, Senku and Zeno are going to pinpoint the location of the petrification device or petrification beam, and they are eventually going to resolve this mystery that created the stone world in the very first place. Now what happens here is pretty hilarious but pretty interesting at the very same time. Zeno and Senku are experimenting with bubbles. Basically, they are trying to blow these very sticky bubbles which will not burst pretty soon, and with this they are going to try to measure the diameter of the wave by using it upon the globe. It's a very complicated process, but it's actually a true process. The Mecha Senku also gives certain information about this, but this is an actual mathematically proven formula. We have seen stuff like this previously and it's really magnificent that this show is so true to science. It's like an homage and a love letter to science in general. So this was really nice to see, but at that very moment, Chrome comes in, but he sees Zeno and Senku blowing the bubbles. And he's really taken aback by all of this. He can't imagine how Senku and Zeno are basically playing with bubbles, But that's when both of them explain to him the exact phenomenon that they are trying to create. Soon, Chrome is also able to understand all of this, and Chrome gives his interpretations to all of this as well. I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty of the stuff here because there's a lot of scientific stuff going on here. Senku says the time of his petrification, Zeno reveals the time of his petrification and the difference of time zone, as well as some other information put forth by Chrome. All of this helped them to locate the tentative or the approximate location of the petrification beam as a city of Brazil in the continent of South America. They give certain coordinates here, and that coordinate reflects to a city called Manaus in Brazil. I'm sorry if I messed up that name, but it's an actual location. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Moreover, Chrome is also able to give them some valuable information, and both Zeno and Senku are pretty impressed by all of this. This trio of scientists, they are definitely going to crack this mystery. And also, I just missed one particular part. Senku has untied the ropes of Zeno. Chrome is a little taken aback by all of this, but Senku explains that Zeno will not leave them until this mystery is solved. Both Zeno and Senku are pretty much the same side of the coin. Both of them want to unveil this mystery, unveil this petrification mystery. So that is the reason why Zeno is not going to leave them at all. So that's why I also believe that Zeno will eventually tell Stanley to stop pursuing them, and he will ask them to help them properly. That sort of a confrontation is definitely coming up in the future of the series. And towards the very end of the chapter, Kohaku comes to the meeting lab and she's just perplexed to see all the three boys quote unquote playing with the bubbles. Obviously she has no idea what is going on here, but this was some pretty hilarious stuff. And in the end, these three are able to deduce the wavefront and the location of the petrification beam. This was some really nice stuff. There are some other scientific terminologies and science stuff going on here, like the difference between this petrification beam and the Medusa device that they got from the treasure island. There is some confusion for me in this particular regard. I'll make an update video for this, or I'll probably add it in the comments if we get some more clarification in this particular regard. Obviously, this chapter was super fun and I'm very happy with the story of Dr. Stone so far. And like I said before, there's probably going to be a confrontation in the middle of the sea very soon in the series. But this is it for chapter 171. What are your thoughts about this? Please mention them in the comment section below. So that's it for today guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. This is WhyZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.